Welcome to Midlife Moves, where we're figuring out this whole midlife thing one day, one workout, and one what the hell just happened moment at a time. I'm Heather, and if you're navigating career shifts, fitness goals, parenting teenagers, or just wondering when the hell we became the grown-ups, you're in the right place. Let's talk about the real stuff, no filters, just honest conversations and a little bit of chaos. Let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Heather Francis, and welcome to another episode of Midlife Moves. We're going to start today by acknowledging the irony of me being very ill going into recording this episode. I never get sick. Guys, I can count on one hand in the past 10 years the number of times that I have caught a bug. I'm totally jinxing myself now. Let me find wood to knock on. I rarely get sick, and I have been sick twice this year. And like 4 days ago, I said to someone, I'm going to be 100% by tomorrow. Like, this is a non-issue. I rarely get sick, and when I do get sick, I don't stay sick. And this is going on a week. And as soon as I think I'm getting better, I'm wrong. I don't have a fever. It's just like a cold. I don't know what it is, but we're just going to deal with it. I know that I was a mouth breather last night. So I woke up with a headache. All right, I digress. I'm done whining now. If you are in midlife and you talk to anyone or you go online at any point, you have thought about supplements and what supplements you should be taking, or you've had a conversation about what other people are taking, or you see the endless posts from influencers and ads telling you that you should be taking everything: magnesium, creatine, collagen, greens, hormone support, cortisol support. It's endless, and it's expensive, and it's confusing. And honestly, a lot of us don't know where to begin or what we actually need. So for today's episode, I brought back my friend, Dr. Julie. She's going to cut through some of the noise with us. She's going to go through the top things that she says that we women in midlife should be taking. Dr. Julie is a concierge physician who works closely with women in this stage of life. And in this conversation, we talk about what actually matters, what might be helpful, what's overhyped, and how to think about supplements safely and realistically. So this isn't about unnecessarily taking things just for the sake of taking things. It's about understanding your body and supporting it well. And hopefully this helps you let go of some of the pressure to do everything perfectly. Let's get into it.
Hey listeners, it's Heather here with a quick message before we get into the rest of the episode. I have been blown away by the level of support from you guys. I love seeing how much the topics resonate with all of you and hearing how the episodes make you feel seen. I genuinely appreciate the outpouring of support from everyone. If you've been enjoying the show, there are a few ways you can continue to support the podcast and the team behind it. If you aren't already, follow us on Instagram at the Midlife Moves Podcast. For more behind-the-scenes info on the show and our guests, check out our website, midlifemoves.co. Reviews go a long way. I'd really appreciate a rating and a review on the podcast platform of your choice. And finally, check out the merch store. It's a fantastic way to rep the podcast and help support the team that makes these episodes possible. We've got some great designs for t-shirts and totes available there. Thank you all again so much, and enjoy the rest of the episode. Dr. Julie, welcome back to Midlife Moves.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
When we talked last time, I know we started talking about a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And like as we were going, we were like, oh, we need to do like a whole separate episode about this. So this is one of those. And today we're going to focus on supplements.
I love that because that's a huge part of my practice. And there's so much misinformation out there that I think this is great.
I follow you on Instagram, obviously, and I've seen, so we'll talk about some of the stuff that you've talked about because I saw you posted a video yesterday about creatine. So we're going to talk a lot about creatine.
That's one of my favorites. Great.
Awesome. So first, we're bombarded with supplement advice. We hear about magnesium, creatine, collagen, like all of these things. From your perspective as a physician, how should we begin even thinking about supplements?
So honestly, I feel like it can be very overwhelming. We're getting information from all sorts of avenues. The truth is most supplements aren't actually necessary if you're eating a balanced diet. So let's make that first and foremost. They're really meant to fill in gaps. So the first step I like to approach with my patients is personalization. So let's look at your labs. What is your vitamin D level? What's optimal? What's your iron level? Let's talk diet. What's your protein intake? Are you reaching a goal? So we want to make sure you're actually low in something. When there's a deficiency, targeted supplementation can really make a difference. Taking everything under the sun, like a million different supplements, it's usually not helpful. And there's some cases where it can actually be harmful, right? We have some vitamins, like vitamin D is a perfect example. You want to make sure you're monitoring those levels and not just taking it randomly, because certain vitamins can build up in your system and be detrimental. So making sure you have a personalized plan and speaking it over with someone with expertise.
And then going back for follow-ups.
Yeah. And making sure you follow up on those labs.
Right. Because I take iron.
Yeah.
But I take iron because I'm anemic. And like my doctor told me to take it. That's not one of the
Yeah.
things that people should just be taking to
That's
take.
absolutely not. And we want to make sure iron is a really big one because we're looking at iron panels and we're also making sure we're following ferritin levels. So iron is also a vitamin that's kind of difficult to take because there's so many rules with it. So I really encourage my patients, if you're taking iron biglycinate, you're taking it on an empty stomach. So no coffee, no juice, anything for at least an hour. And you're making sure that you are taking it, just separating it from food, which can be difficult because raising those levels is really difficult. But sometimes what we'll see is patients have normal iron levels and then low ferritin levels. And I think that's what happens when we do like a disservice to our patients when we tell them, well, your iron's fine, but your ferritin is low. When we have low ferritin, usually under 50, we want to make sure we're supplementing that as well with iron.
Let me tell you when I take my iron supplements.
Oh, gosh.
I take it with breakfast.
Never with breakfast. They do say with vitamin C, right? So if you can find a combination of iron and vitamin C in one pill, that's the kind I give my kids. That's great with a little bit of juice, but you really don't want to have anything more acidic in your stomach. And you definitely don't want to have food in your stomach. And it really should be, which iron are you taking?
Slow-fee.
Okay. So you may want to take it more than once a day. So like the timing of the iron can be difficult and making sure you're getting that level up it's hard. So there's a lot of IV formulations that we can offer. Also, those are not always well tolerated. So it's a difficult supplement to give.
Yeah, iron's tough. And you have to take it with like colace. Like there's all kinds of stuff.
There's a lot.
Iron
So if
is.
you're, yeah. So I mean, the iron glycinate is probably my most favorite, but it's 3 times a day. So
I have
I'm
to
going
go back for follow-up blood work
yeah.
anyway.
But you want to make sure you're looking at the iron panel, but making sure you're also looking at that ferritin level. Good thing to ask your doctor. Yeah. So that's really it. I mean, making sure you have a personalized plan and not just taking random things that you see random people on the internet talking about.
So if you had to narrow it down, what are the supplements for women, especially like in this phase of life, right? Like in our 40s, that would actually make a difference?
So I'm going to clump vitamin and calcium together. I think it's really important for bone health, especially postmenopausal. If you're taking a vitamin D with K2 and some calcium, I think that would be great. I love my creatine. We have that's supporting muscle mass. We have strength, brain function, which we all need a little help with in this, over 40 range. We have great evidence behind it. It's really well studied. It's generally well tolerated. No reason you shouldn't be taking it. Everyone, not only over 40, should be taking it. I would also recommend protein. Like if you're not getting enough protein in your regular diet, I typically tell patients, so let's say your target goal, your goal weight is 150, and whether or not you're at that goal rate's, I don't want to say irrelevant, but if your goal weight is 150, I would aim for 150 grams of protein that day. That does not mean every day you're going to get 150 grams of protein. I mean, that's your goal for the day. We know that's going to be helping with so many things, with bone density and muscle mass. And then I'd probably say omegas. That's something that I've been really pushing for recently with my patients. I'm not recent, but more so lately, but for heart and brain health. So that's something I would tell patients to get, the omegas.
Is that like fish oil?
Yeah. And if you find a really nice quality brand, you really won't have people always concerned about like those fishy burps. You're really not going to have that as much. I know.
Hey. Who wants to burp fish?
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. But I would say those are probably my top 4 right now.
The calcium, the creatine, the protein. And so the protein.
Yeah.
I track mine in my Fitness Pal when I'm tracking. Yeah. And I guess that's really the only way you know what you're actually taking in. You have to track. right? This
Yeah.
like food. Yeah.
It's the only way for you to know is how much, if you're tracking. And it's hard, right? And it's also hard to start getting into that, that mental space. Like, okay, this chicken breast has so and so, has this much, and this egg has this much. Teaching yourself and training yourself how to look at your plate. When I'm talking to women and patients, I'm not saying we need to weigh your food. That's not where you're at in this stage of life right now. We're not measuring grams. We're not doing that. We're looking at a plate and saying, do I have 30 grams of protein on this plate? And then if I don't, how do I supplement that, or what can I remove? And teaching people, I mean, with AI and everything right now, it's so easy. Take a picture of your plate and then calculate how much protein is on it. Yeah.
I got really good at putting everything at figuring out what has like high protein and like lower fat.
Yeah.
Because then for a while I was just like, okay, this is protein, but I wasn't like paying attention to like everything else.
Yeah.
So then like I had to learn to look at like that whole picture.
Yeah, and like reading the labels, right? And like when to be eating certain foods. So patients will say to me like, oh, well, this has fat and I'm scared to eat it. The truth is you do need fat. Your brain needs fat. We all need fat. You need to make sure you are getting enough fat, looking at your plate and saying, hey, I'm going for a pre-workout. We did this like a video on this the other day. Pre-workout, what am I eating? Post-workout, what am I eating to make sure I'm fueling my body for that?
Yeah, because you need fat and you need carbs.
Absolutely. You need carbs. So like pre-workout,
carbs.
we're talking protein, carbs, and fat, 100%. You absolutely need that. And same for post-workout. You want to make sure you're getting carbs, protein, and making sure you have enough fiber in there. And we'll talk about that too.
Because I know that we're not talking about, like diet, like today. Yeah. I cut carbs out like substantially for a long time. And I like thinned out more than I really wanted to. But I had to like retrain myself to start eating them again because they're really, really important for brain health.
But they are, and just for muscle recovery, right? We want to make sure we're getting the most out of our workouts, and that's how we're actually doing that. So I try to tell my patients, like, we're not training for some bodybuilding competition. We are just training to live a healthier lifestyle and, be strong in our 80s. So fats, carbs, proteins, these all need to be on your plate.
Creatine has... when I say creatine to some people, they initially think of male bodybuilders.
Sure.
But that's not the case really anymore. Like we're fine. Like you and I have talked about this. There's more and more evidence that we should really be taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that.
So creatine, and that's really what we were told in like the 90s, right? You'd see these muscle heads working out with the ripped shirts and lifting, Gold's Gym and taking their creatine. So it's really not just for bodybuilders. We know that women, especially midlife, it helps maintain muscle mass, strength, which we know naturally declines with age. So it even helps with cognitive function. We're seeing that less brain fog. So we actually have one study in particular that I was thinking about showed women over 50 who took creatine and did resistance training gained more lean muscle mass, than just exercise alone. And it helps you push harder and for longer in order to get that better workout. So I think it's a powerful tool for staying independent and mobile as we age. Really, everyone should be on it, not just those of us over 40.
And not just people who actively work out, it sounds like everyone should just be taking it.
And what I like to tell patients with creatine is you should be taking it whether or not you're working out. If you do work out, even if it's a rest day, you still take your creatine.
One of the things that you and I did talk about last time was we talked about the difference between the gummies and the powder.
Yeah.
And you like the powder. And actually, I've seen a couple things since then. I switched to the powder too.
Good. Yeah. So gummies are not going to be as absorbed as the powder is. So I tell patients, if you're going to take it, you're going to have to do a powder and a creatine monohydrate. Nothing other than that. Yeah. So no gummies. Yes to powder.
No gummy. Yeah. I stopped with them.
Yeah. They're easier, it could be grainy, it can have a weird taste, but I usually take my creatine post-workout. Thorne has these like travel packs that you can purchase, put them into a protein drink and just like suck it down.
Do you know what I do? I put it in with my electrolytes.
Oh, good.
I do liquid IV. I use liquid IV and I throw it in there because then I don't taste it.
You don't taste it, yeah. Whatever you got to do to get it in.
Whether or not you're working out, get it down. Let's talk about fiber.
Okay, yeah. We've
been hearing more about the need for fiber in our diets. And I don't follow a lot of medical stuff very closely, but I have even seen in my periphery, more young people having, being diagnosed with colon cancer.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of that. I mean, James Van Der Beek.
James Vanderbeek. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think all of us over 40 can feel that one because we're like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Right. So I think most adults aren't getting enough fiber. So I think most adults on average here in the US are getting about 15 grams a day. Women should be aiming for about 25 grams. We know it's essential for your gut health, your blood sugar, cholesterol, weight management. Tracking your intake can be tricky, but like if you're tracking your fruits, vegetables, your grains, and then if you're not hitting those goals, you can always take supplements, obviously food first, but whole foods are always best because they come with other vitamins and antioxidants.
I had such a hard time with this one because I eat salads all the time. So I was just like, I'm getting plenty of fiber, but when I actually started tracking, I wasn't getting nearly as much as I thought I was.
Yeah.
Like not nearly as much.
It's really hard. I mean, like one apple only has, well, I guess not only, but has about 4 grams, right?
Yeah.
And then you have like a teaspoon of chia seeds has like 5 grams. And then you have a whole cup of beans and that's like already 15 grams. So that's one of my favorite
just
proteins.
Being intentional.
Yeah, it's really just being intentional. Correct.
Beans are a good source. That's a good.
Beans are a great source. And, we have different types, the soluble and, the insoluble. We want to make sure that we're kind of mixing those if you can. But if you have like certain clinical situations, like if you're like, hey, I have high LDL, for example, you want to really aim for that soluble fiber. If you have constipation, you just want to increase general fiber intake.
Doesn't matter what kind.
For fiber, right. I mean, if you're looking for weight loss, you really want to introduce the fiber into your digestive system before the starch. So there's different ways to approach it.
Fiber before the starch.
Yeah. So like you would take your beans before your bread. Is who can resist the bread. But I would say, like, there are certain things when I counsel my patients, you have to increase slowly or else you're going to have severe digestive response to it. You're absolutely going to have to increase your water take as you increase your fiber. I would expect some transient bloating in between. So those are things to look out for.
Well, right, because if you don't drink enough water, this I do know. I think I know, you're going to be like, stop talking, Heather.
Absolutely not.
If you don't drink enough water, like everything kind of just like gathers in there and it becomes like a problem.
Like a rock. Yeah.
Like a rock.
Yeah. It's not good. Yeah.
Because that happens a lot with like older people too.
Yeah. And even kids too. Because our kids are not sometimes getting enough water, especially when it's colder out, you're not drinking as much.
Yeah.
So, but that's something to look out for. And you want to.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, make sure you're looking for good brands. Go ahead, continue if you are going to supplement.
Yeah. And we should just be drinking a lot of water anyway.
I know. I think everyone has that problem.
Yeah. And I'm definitely not. I'm not drinking nearly enough water.
I'm starting this series where it's like, doctor, try it. So I'm going to try something that's like a fad, right? And my goal is to try actually drinking like a gallon of water or whatever the fad was, like drinking as you're drinking water and seeing what kind of different, and see what kind of difference I see, to be honest with you. Nobody in my family drinks enough water, myself included.
Is that where you're supposed to drink a gallon?
No, but there was like certain things going on Instagram. You have to be very careful about how much water you're intaking too. I just want to throw that out there.
Right. Yeah, no, because you
really
can die from that.
Yeah, I mean, your sodium levels can change. I mean, you do have to drink a lot of water, but if your kidney function is not right, if your heart function is not right, you shouldn't be doing that.
But be intentional about it. All of it is just being intentional.
Everything is being intentional. I mean, is there enough time in the day between eating the protein, exercising, drinking the water, shoveling the kids around?
No.
As I'm sitting in the car.
Mm-hmm. As you're sitting in the car.
Yeah.
Okay. We as women, this pink tax, right? We are spending a ridiculous amount of money on things that we don't need. We are spending a lot of money on types of things that are not necessarily helpful to us. Is there...
So I think for me as a doctor, when I see things that are targeted toward like hormones or stress or adrenal support, and my biggest pet peeve is when I see something geared toward detox powders. These are not evidence-backed. So I really want people to know that you have, kidneys for a reason. I mean, they're helping you filtrate what you need to be filtrating. You don't need to detox. You're not drinking a detox tea or a powder or putting something in your drink. And I would not expect anything to come from that. That would be probably my biggest thing.
Did I tell you? Did I tell you the story about when I did a detox? I was in my 30s. I got shingles.
Your body was probably like, what's happening?
I
What kind of detox did you do?
I don't know. I blocked everything out of it. I think that
Sorry. That's
I
such a huge stressor. We
I
really,
was
honestly, I don't want to laugh because it's not funny
Oh
and
no,
shingles is
it's
horrible.
hilarious.
But you really don't. You really don't need anything that's going to support your stress or the detox. You don't need that. That's not a thing.
No, I remember going to my doctor and I was like, "What is wrong with me?" They were like, "You have shingles." I was like, "That's ridiculous." It was
So what kind
but it was a detox.
was it a drink? What were you doing?
It had to have been a drink. It had to have been a drink. This was probably 15 years ago because
Okay.
it was before I had my son
Okay.
and
And
he's 13.
But I mean, it goes to show you like something out there was telling you at a healthy 30-year-old that you needed to detox
Yeah.
your body. Right. Yeah. So that would be like my biggest pet peeve.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. And I know that we talked about this throughout our conversation, but just to wrap it up.
Yeah.
One of the things that you and I talked about the last time we talked was the importance of seeing your physician regularly and having your blood work done and making these supplement decisions with your doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And
For sure.
so like we already said it, like this is the way to do it.
I would add to that actually and just say like quality also matters. So if you are going to start supplementing, you want to look for third-party testing like USP, NSF, and making sure that what you're taking is actually what's inside those supplements. And I always tell patients supplements are not like magic bullets. Okay. They're tools that we use to help aid what we're trying to achieve. Used thoughtfully, they can make a tremendous impact and tremendous difference, but done blindly, they're really expensive urine. So you want to make sure you're taking what you're supposed to be taking, your doctor's monitoring you, and we do see that third-party testing.
No third-party testing.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Oh, last one.
Yep.
Multivitamin. We are of the generation of the one a day.
Of the Flintstone.
The Flintstone and the one a day. I remember my mother taking
Centrum.
the Centrum. Mm-hmm.
So I tell my patients, multivitamins for me, that's not something I recommend my patients to take. Why are we taking a multivitamin? Are you eating? Are you generally have a healthy diet? Are you someone who's walking and talking and eating foods multiple times a day? Then no, you don't need a multivitamin. Like I said, targeted supplementation.
As I continue to take my multivitamin.
Are you still?
I do still. I can't stop.
You need to stop.
I try to.
You need to stop.
Like my emotional support.
You need to stop. And you really need to be mindful as to when you're taking your vitamins and like with what. So like you're taking your vitamin D and omegas, you want to take that with food. Your iron, no food. Try taking your iron before bed.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah. So I leave mine bedside.
With magnesium? Can I take it with magnesium?
I would take your magnesium probably toward dinner time, and I would take the iron by itself. Are you taking magnesium at night?
I am.
Good. Take it with dinner.
I've been getting sleep.
Great. Take it with dinner. I'm totally fine with that. The iron, I would just leave it bedside.
Easy. That's easy. Yeah. I can do that.
You're definitely not going to get enough by taking it once a day, but that's a start.
Dr. Julie, I love talking to you.
My God, anytime. I love talking to you too.
All right. Thank you for joining us. And we will put all of her contact information in the show notes once again. And you can find her on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
How can they find you on Instagram?
Dr. J. Militello.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's it for this episode. If you had fun, learned something, or just feel a little less alone in the chaos, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you want to keep the conversation going, come find me on Instagram at HeatherMoves_, because midlife is way more fun when we do it together. Until next time, keep moving forward, or at least keep moving. See ya.